Hi everybody, welcome back. This is day 5 and 6 of a cold turkey withdrawal from SSRIs or Sertraline, which is the one that I've been taking. Missed yesterday's update just because I had some scheduled events with friends, so I am doing a day 5 and 6 together, which in fact, considering not much has happened in terms of symptoms, is probably going to be a good thing because there's not too much to go through, and in fact to me it's actually a good sign because it shows that things are slowing down. I'm getting back to that balance within my body, or what's called homeostasis in a more scientific term. And I think that's a good topic to start on, and a good point to make is that everybody's withdrawal process will be completely different. Some people will have withdrawal symptoms sometimes for weeks, sometimes for months, and sometimes even up to a year or possibly longer. I don't think there's really a set experience that people have because everybody's bodies are different. But from my perspective, when I've withdrew from medication before, in particular SSRIs and Sertraline, it's always been very short-lived for myself, and that's probably because I've always ended up cold turkeying. There was one time where I did a slight taper, but again I just found that to be too unbearable, and then eventually I just need to rip the band-aid off and basically I stopped the medication. Again, not advocating that. You definitely need to speak to your doctor, as that can be dangerous, but yeah, certainly for somebody like me, it's something I've experienced in the past. I'm quite confident it's something that I'll be okay with and I'll be able to deal with, even though there will of course be days with intense emotions, just like day 4 where I really felt like I was almost losing my mind and I thought I would actually just have to take a tablet, but I said to myself, no, I stopped myself. I said, this is just an experience, it's okay, let it be there, it's just an energy, it's neither good nor bad. And in that way it kind of diminishes it because you're not identifying your own self with these experiences, so it allows you to abstract away from that and it can help you remain a lot more calm, or at least allows you to deal with it while it's going on. So in terms of symptoms now, I haven't really had any kind of major symptoms at all. In all honesty, the only things that I'm still getting is a lot of fatigue through the day, or for example, and you might be able to tell in this video that I feel a little bit more subdued, so not quite with it. I don't know if you would call that brain fog. I don't particularly feel very foggy, but I've noticed that my energy levels aren't there, so I'm basically just going to go with that experience, just going to chill out for the day, do a little bit of deep breathing exercises, maybe watch a movie and then just rest and relax. I think in a way it does show that cold turkeying off SSRIs is possible, as long as you're prepared to deal with some very intense moments. For me, they're always short-lived, but they are very intense sometimes. Certainly by day 3 and 4, I was starting to feel pretty rattled and a lot of my sleep was getting broken, and that was kind of frustrating as well. But now with day 5 and 6, not really much is going on, like I say, other than the fatigue. Even the brain zaps that were really intense on day 3 and 4 are starting to diminish now. And that's a good sign to me. It says that the medication's coming out of my body and it's naturally going to start to up-ramp its own production of serotonin. So there's a little bit of an imbalance for a time when you're coming off the medication, but eventually your body should go back to homeostasis, where it brings everything back into balance. And for me, I do try to assist that process with nutrition. So I try to eat brain boosting foods, things like blueberries, a lot of fresh vegetables, a lot of plant-based foods. And I'm also taking supplements, as I mentioned in my other videos. Things like algae oil can be really helpful. And also things like creatine. There have been studies done which shows that it does support the brain as well. And aside from the supplements, again, like I say, just having those techniques in place so that you know when you do have those very intense moments that you can just rotate into them, and that should help you stay at least a lot calmer than you may have done otherwise. And in terms of food today, I've kept it really healthy, so I've had a couple of eggs on toast, and I've also combined that with some fresh real butter. I do like to get real butter or any kind of real milk product into my foods. I'd prefer to use that over plant-based or milk alternatives. Nothing against them. I know they work for people very well in terms of avoiding allergies. Unfortunately though, the vast majority of them are pretty much bereft of any kind of useful nutrition. So that's why, with me having a choice, I'd rather just stick to milk. I'm also likely going to have a chicken dinner later, so it's one of my favourite things at the moment. I like to eat tons and tons of chicken, and I'm also going to be adding in some veg there, things like turnips, carrots, broccoli, potatoes. Add some fresh butter in there with the mash, and it's a pretty delicious meal. Again, I like to top with cranberry sauce, one of my favourite things. So yeah, you know, I wouldn't say avoid any comfort style foods, but just make sure that if you are eating things that are comforting, that they are still whole foods or give you at least a lot of nutrition, as you will deal with mood swings a lot better and getting through this process. But yeah, going forward from my previous video, I'm including all the information to any kind of mental health resources and crisis services for in the UK, the US and Australia. So if you do want to take a look at them, they're supposed to be some of the best services to support you when you are going through a crisis. Of course, it is going to be your own opinion, and of course it's good to get input from your doctor on that. But yeah, from my own experiences and things that other people have said, they are some of the best resources to use. But yeah, other than that, there's nothing much to report on for day 5 and 6. It's all been pretty smooth, apart from feeling a little bit tired, a little bit fatigued. But I kind of expected that to happen. For some days for me to be feeling right up there, and for some days to be a little less energized, where I just need to take it a little bit easier. But yeah, if you've enjoyed this, please make sure that you do like, subscribe and comment, and please do comment down below. I haven't had tons of comments yet, but I definitely want to see them. You know, tell me about your experiences with Sertraline or SSRIs or any antidepressant medication. You may be on them still, or you may be considering withdrawing or coming off them or tapering. I definitely want to chat to you about that and see what I can learn from you as well. But yeah, it's been a pleasure. I hope you've enjoyed day 5 and 6, and I do hope you enjoy the rest of the day or the evening wherever you are in the world. Thanks for now, guys.